All right, so we're live at the moment. Uh, you're so enthusiastic. All right, no, this is for everybody out there, anybody out there that's watching. We have this integrated chat that's on the screen, and also that we can see it, so that all the platforms can come together as one and be a unified community. However, apparently that causes problems. And so this chat that's supposed to show everything from all the platforms ends up not doing that. So I tried to reset it to see if maybe that will help, but we'll see. So I'm going to try to make sure we see your comments if you comment. In fact, if you're out there watching right now, leave a comment so that we can test it. I would love that. Unfortunately, that's just a thing that this doesn't work. But we'll see. Okay, so we're going to get started recording the show, the actual show, here in just a minute or two. But in the time being, again, let us know you're out there. Where are you watching from? Who are you? What's your favorite food? That kind of stuff.
any baseline conversation starter. That's what we're here
Yeah,
for.
what's your favorite food?
My favorite food is seafood.
Oh, actually, one second. Okay. So I got this for us to use in our show. This 3,000 questions about me book.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
going to pull out a question, and you have to answer this.
All right, here we go.
All right, you have to answer this honestly.
Okay,
Okay, you ready for this?
sure.
Have you ever made your own orange juice?
Oh, I want to say technically, no, I haven't. I was gonna say technically yes because like I squeezed the juice out of oranges and I've like kind of pulled it together before,
Yeah,
but I don't know if you really consider that orange juice because I didn't do it. I did it for like two oranges, so it wasn't like enough to make to make a lot of juice.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do this. Why don't we go ahead? You want to start recording?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I have never made orange juice, by the way.
You know what I just realized?
What's that?
Did we test ourselves before we started this?
Yeah,
Okay, I just want to make sure.
yeah. You mean like a sound check?
Yeah, did we do that?
Yeah.
I'm getting old, man. I forget everything.
You're so old. Okay, I've got an idea. I'm going to test myself. I'm going to chat as the lineup initiative. Hello.
Well, where you? Which platform are you going off of?
That'd be YouTube.
Okay, I'm gonna go off of Facebook then. I'm gonna chat as lineup initiative. Hello. Well, which platform are you going off of?
Doesn't appear to be coming through.
YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna go off of Facebook then. Oh my, I sound crazy on Facebook. Like,
You sound like a monster.
yeah, do you hear that?
Yeah.
I sound crazy. You hear that? Oh my God. That's crazy. I don't know if I
All
should
right.
be thrilled or disappointed or I don't know. Anyway, it's fine.
All right. Let's see. I reset the chat one more time.
All right.
Okay. Boom. Let's try this again. Chat. Test.
Okay, let me go back. Let me go back.
Yay,
to
that works. Okay. All right, I fixed it. We should be able to see the chat now.
Oh, cool.
Well, I guess you can't.
That's
So,
fine. It's
okay.
okay.
I'll let you know. There you are. I see it.
There we go.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. All right. Let's get the show recording. Okay. All right. We are now officially recording. So kick us off whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right then. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to episode 10 of Board Games Are Fun!
It's episode 10 already?
Oh my goodness, time flies by. It's so good to see you all again. There honestly are a couple of reasons
Man,
why.
I gotta say, it feels like weeks since our last episode.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. And there are a couple of reasons why, and my health was a factor. Also, some technical difficulties that we had when we originally were going to post this episode. So, the universe wanted us to take our time with this. So I'm
Apparently.
excited. I am excited to bring it to you now.
Yeah, I have nothing else to say.
All right, all right.
Um,
So I figured we just get right into it, and we
okay.
start like we always do with our most recent gaming experiences. So I'll leave it
Oh
up to
shoot.
you. Should you or I go first?
Why don't you go first? Because I forgot about that. I gotta decide what I'm gonna talk about.
That sounds good. Okay, so for me, one of the most recent gaming experiences I've had, I started a Betrayal Legacy campaign. And
Awesome.
so it's been a lot of fun. But the funny little side anecdote, my friend wanted it for Christmas, and he told me that he wanted it. He put it on his Christmas list, right? And so I had already bought it for him the day he told me that. And so I just
Mhm.
started laughing, and everybody else at the table already knew that I would gotten it for him. And so we get to the white elephant deal, and we're all opening our gifts, and he saves the biggest box for last, and then he opens it up, and he's so excited, and that made me feel good. So we started playing the next week, and we played the prologue, and we were like, oh man, we're just getting our feet wet. And then we played the first one, and we were like, oh man, we're getting our feet wet. And then we played the second one, and then I was like, guys, guys, we gotta stop here. I know I'm having a great time too, but we're supposed to spread this out at least a little bit.
No.
So, but they could have played all night.
Yeah,
Um,
play it all in one day. Nothing wrong with that.
well, and the neat thing about it is because he had put it on his Christmas list, he has two copies. So
Oh, nice.
I told him, I said, look, I'm in on this first group because I bought this one, but I want to be in on the second group too.
Hmm.
If there's a buy-in, just let me know. I don't mind, so I can play again. But it's been a lot of fun so far. If you like Betrayal at House on the Hill, along with the expansion to it, you'll definitely enjoy the Legacy version.
Yeah, I agree. We still have our game in progress from a year or two ago.
One of these
It's
days we go finish
probably,
it.
I don't know, man. It's probably gonna end up in the trash.
Well, yeah, sadly.
I don't see us ever finishing it.
Yeah,
Maybe we
you're
can
right.
just take out the pieces and play with those. I don't know,
Yeah,
because I don't want to trash it, but it's like, what do you do with a legacy game that you can't finish?
I
You
know. That's so true.
know? Anyway, all right. So, me next. I have a friend. Might surprise you, but I do have a friend.
I'm right here.
Yeah, I have another one. Ooh. And for Christmas, I got this game called Undaunted North Africa. Now, this is the second in a series. The first one was called Undaunted Normandy. And it's like this war game. So, like, it's World War II. And it's not really a theme that I'm interested in, a type of game. But I heard good things about the first one. And I played it at BGG-Con in 2019, and I really liked it because it's a deck building game. And so I was like, okay, this is nice. And then this new one came out, North Africa, and I heard great things about this. Well, the other one was great, but this one's even better. So it's like, oh, okay, I wouldn't mind having this. So I asked for it for Christmas, and I got it. And the thing about the game is, it's you can play one off, so you can play this mission or that mission, but there is a campaign, and it's a two-player game. So I was like, I'm gonna, I could play with Laura, but I play with other games with her. I'm gonna try to find somebody else to play through this campaign with. And I found a friend off the street, and we
Off the streets.
we started today. Played our first mission, and I enjoy it. Again, it's like it's hard to get excited about it because I'm not really into war gaming, but mechanically and just the things that you do, your strategy, the deck building aspect of it, it's a lot of fun. Um, so I would recommend it to anybody that's looking for a unique deck building two-player game. But I do think that the war aspect of it is going to turn a few people off of it. But overall, I enjoy it. I'm looking forward to the next game in the mission or the campaign.
Neat. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. So next up for me, well, at the same Christmas gift exchange, the friend that I got Betrayal Legacy, he got me King of Tokyo Dark Edition,
Dark Edition.
which I didn't know was a thing, so I was very, very excited to pull it out and see what it was
Mm-hmm.
about. So first of all, just off the top, the artwork is amazing. Like they just took everything and just it's all grungy and like the cubes are all lightning cubes now and
Oh, nice.
like there's a lot of different upgrades to it. Like Tokyo is just like way more of a rough and tumble city, so it's really neat. So they did add a new element to the game as well. So now you get rewarded for rolling triple ones and triple twos. You're
Hmm.
trying to get up a second scale that they have. So you start at one, and the highest you can go on it is eight. If you roll a triple one, you can go up to scale twice, and then a triple two, you go up to scale once. And you're trying to get to different milestones on the scale. So I think the first one's at two, and then there's one at five, and one at seven, I believe. And if you get up there, you get extra powers that can help you to win the game or change your monster to make them stronger or different
Mm-hmm.
kind of power ups like that. So that was a neat addition to it. But it's still pretty much, you know, you're here to be the last one standing or get to 20 points first. So they don't change King of Tokyo too much. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're looking for something that gives King of Tokyo a spin, I think the Dark Edition you would enjoy because I know I did.
So maybe like if someone's played it, enjoyed it, but didn't own it, maybe this might be a good time for them to pick it up.
Yes.
Would you so like King of Tokyo is great for introducing to new gamers. Would you say that this one still is, or does it add too much complexity for it to be a beginner game?
Um, I still think it's baseline enough.
Okay.
Because it's just, I mean, King of Tokyo, the base game, it's so simplistic, which that's one of the reasons I loved it.
Yeah.
Um, but this one just adds just basically one piece to it. Um, and so if you like the first one, then I think you would like this. And even if you're just being introduced in the games, I would say this is a good one to try.
Last question. Do you think it's worth it to have both?
Now, I don't know if it's enough uh, because for me, I didn't have the base game, so this
Hmm.
will be my base copy.
Okay.
I don't think you would need both based off of
Okay.
my experience. Like the new one doesn't add enough to me to be like, oh, I have to get rid of the other one to have it, or I need to have both. But if you know, like for me, the artwork upgrade is awesome.
Hmm.
And you know, I like the different element enough to where I'm happy now that I do have my own copy, and that is this
Gotcha. Okay. Well, cool. Thanks for the tip, the info.
one.
Next one I want to talk about. Seigen, did I ever teach you Dice Masters?
I believe so.
Was the one where you like have dice and they're like superheroes, and I don't know if I did or not.
I think we at least talked about it, but I don't know if we
Okay.
ever played it.
Okay. So basically, it's a superhero battle game. You can make your own team, and each hero is represented by a different die. And so, like, you start off with your basic like sidekick dice, but throughout the game, you're able to gain more of your superheroes to go into your drawing bags for you to draw out. Um, and so I like that game, and so I was really happy to find out that this next game that I played is actually somewhat similar, but taken to a new level. And the game is called Qubitos. Yeah, it's it's from AEG, and actually from one of my favorite designers, John D. Clare. Um, he's done all kinds of different stuff. He's done Mystic Vale. He's done I'm blanking, but he's also done Qubitos. And this is a racing game, and it's up to for 2 to 4 players. And you have a track. There are 4 different tracks you can play on, and you've got your little figures. You're moving around the board. But the way it works is you start with some basic dice, and the dice will have like different faces. But the beginning dice have all blanks except for one coin, and then there are 2 other dice that you start with. They're dark gray, and one side has a coin and one side has a foot. The rest of the sides are blanks. So rolling symbols is really difficult with those initial dice. Well, what happens is everybody will roll at the same time, and you're going to either stop rolling, keep your roll, or you're gonna push your luck and roll again. And at a certain point, let's say you have rolled at least 3 symbols and you've kept those. Let's say you choose to roll again, and when you roll again, all of the faces are blank. Well, then you bust, and then everything that you've saved over here goes away. You have to throw them away. So it's this push your luck element of, this is a pretty good roll. Should I save it and just move on, or could I get just a little bit better if I rolled some more? And then, if most likely you go for it and then bust. But where the Dice Masters thing comes in is there are 8 different, I think it's 8 different color dice that are characters, and there are several dice that you can take for each character. And so you'll use your coins to buy these other dice to add to your pool when you draw from and roll on the next turns. And they all have these crazy abilities. And each die has a card that's like, this is the character that it is, and this is the ability. But for each die, each colored die, there are like 8 different cards, I think. So like you can mix and match and like imagine, I think it's 8. So think 8 times 8, 64. So 64 different cards in there. And then you mix and match all of those. I mean, the variability in the cards that you're playing with is crazy because you only play with 1 card per character each time. But these will be silly abilities, things that help you go faster, things that will get you more coins so you can buy more dice. There are all kinds of ways to get combos by buying just the right combination of dice. And when you roll those at the right time, it's really neat. It's very unique. I've never played anything like it. But yeah, and you use those feet symbols to move. So if you roll a foot symbol, you can move along the space. It's very different. The names on the different characters that you can buy are really funny. Like one character is a dinosaur, and my favorite name that it has, because there are different variations of each die, and this one, my favorite name is You Bet Jurassican.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
That's it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But another version of that character is called Rollosaurus. So you could see how like each one's gonna have a different name, and it's a blast. So I think that comes out next month, or this month because it's February already. So I think it's a great family weight game. Again, more of that deck building ish element to it, and you're rolling a ton of dice. Like just from the get go, you're rolling 9 dice at once. So if you like rolling dice and you like pushing your luck and you like deck building, definitely check out Qubitos.
Well, that sounds like one I definitely need to check out for
Oh yeah,
sure.
yeah, you need to play that.
Okay, so lastly for me, I will talk about the last time that we played a game together, and it had been a long time since I played this game, but we got together and played Rococo, the Deluxe Edition.
Woo.
And so
I mean,
first of all, the artwork was just unbelievable. Like, just the upgrades were just crazy. I could have looked at that board for hours.
mm-hmm.
And it was just so neat to, I mean, almost relearn the game because it had been a long time since I played it. But I really enjoyed it. And it was definitely one that I want to play again soon.
Yeah, we've got Jordan Hurd in the chat jumping in saying that he thinks that Rococo Deluxe is so good.
Yeah, I agree.
And so yeah, we agree with you totally. I think that it's just fantastic production, like the components, like you said, and it's got a solo mode, which is new, and it's got a couple mini expansions in there. Like it does include the jewelry box expansion that I've played once. So I'd like to explore those other things it has to offer, and definitely check it out solo. But yeah, it's a lovely game, and it's not one I can say, hey, you need to go out and get this, because it's like $120. But that's how much the original would go for on the secondary market since it's out of print. So get an old one or get a new one for the same price. So
yeah,
yeah,
right.
but that's a lot of fun.
Definitely.
And then Oh, Jordan also says that his game Sleeping Gods came in finally. He's like 7 turns in already. Congratulations, Jordan. Okay, last game for me is I'm going to talk about one that uh, I wouldn't have talked about, so I'm going to talk about it.
Okay.
This is called Blitz Bowl. So let me see if I can remember about uh, what how the game goes. So it's a smaller version of a game called Blood Bowl, which is like a football game between like humans and orcs or something. Sorry, everybody, for getting it wrong, but it's like this intense, um, high impact version of football, and you've got these different characters, and you've got the different positions. Actually, let me so I'm not misleading everybody. Let me go to the page and explain it a little bit better. What is this called? Blitz Bowl. So this is a 2-player game, and I'm not really that interested in playing it because it's like, well, football, and I'm not a fan of football. But so this is a fast fantasy football game where mayhem and showmanship can also score you points. So, yeah, you've got your teams, and you've got small teams, so it's not like a full-fledged football team. I think there are 6 characters on each one, but it's a shorter version of what Blood Bowl is, and these you're doing touchdowns, you're passing the ball, you're trying to block. I mean, there's a lot of football-y elements to it, and when you do certain things, there are like these goals along the side of the board that you want to accomplish, and when you do those, you get points and whatnot. And I'm probably not making any sense, but the point is, it's a fun, fast-paced 2-player game of football essentially that I didn't think I would enjoy, but I really did. It was a lot of fun. So for something like that, look into Blitz Bowl more. A friend of mine had it and brought it over, and glad he did.
Interesting. I think I would definitely enjoy that because I am a big fan of football.
You are. Um, they have it at, I think it's a Barnes and Noble exclusive. So
Oh,
if you want it, go grab it at Barnes and Noble.
well, that's good to know. Um, all right. So I figured the next thing we could talk about, and it's something I've been wanting to ask you about for a little while now, because I've seen it in forums and on other board gaming podcasts in the past. I was just curious as to your opinion on what you think about um, supporting a retail store, a brick and mortar store, in comparison to like online shopping. Like, do you have a
Hmm.
preference? Do you feel like you're kind of obligated to support the brick and mortar stores, or just what's your opinion on that ongoing, uh, I guess, event that's happening now?
Yeah. Um, like I know what I'm supposed to say. Um, I'll just give my stance, my position first, and then kind of explain it. So for me, it boils down to where's the cheapest I can get it. I don't have the luxury of just running down to the local game store and picking up a game and bringing it back to the house. Um, Technically, I could because I have some really decent ones in the area, and I do from time to time. But, you know, if I can save 10, 12, $13 by ordering a game online, it doesn't make sense. I mean, I would be intentionally going to support this store. Like it wouldn't make any sense for me to buy it from the store unless my purpose was to support the store. Um, and I would like I don't have anything against doing that. I want the stores to succeed. I just personally can't justify it at this point in my life with the finances that I have. And so I got to go with what's best for my wallet at this point.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's hard for because I mean, you have to pay the shipping cost uh, to get the game. Then you have to try to upsell it a little bit just to make money as a brick and mortar. So it's always going
Right.
to be more expensive than just
Mm-hmm.
getting it straight from a retailer or straight from a place like Amazon that'll ship it right to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is for me. It's a little different because I don't have the greatest selection around me,
Right.
especially one of our board game stores in Wichita Falls actually recently closed.
Oh man, which
So
one?
we're down to one. Pegasus Loft
Mm-hmm.
recently closed, so we're down to as far as I know just the one. So besides like the big, we got Target and Walmart, but
Yeah.
they're getting better, I guess.
Right.
But you know what I mean, a game store, and we only really have that one now, and so it's a great place for beginning gamers,
Mm-hmm.
is what I would say. But it's not a place like Madness or somewhere like that that is just going to have a selection that like devout board gamers and first time board gamers can have a great time there.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you are looking for more of a deeper experience, you're not going to find it at the board game store I have here in town.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's either I go to a bigger place like Dallas or Oklahoma City, to go get the game I'm looking for, or I have it ordered and sent to me. Well, when I'm looking at it that way, I'm gonna have it ordered and sent to me because that's, I
Right.
mean, going out of my way on the trip to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I like going and supporting the brick and mortars as much as I can. So
Yeah.
anytime I'm in a bigger city, I'll always try to find a store that I can go in. And every time I go into a store like Madness or there was one in Oklahoma City that I went into, but I can't think of the name of it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll explore the whole place, but I'll make sure I always at least get one game,
Mm-hmm.
and I know no matter what, I'm at least getting one while I'm there,
Yeah.
because I want to support the place, and just basically just show my gratitude for it being there, if nothing else. So,
Yeah. And you know, I do. So like I occasionally like I'll pick up an expansion or something at a store. I definitely take advantage of like Madness has a buy two get one free sale at Christmas time, and I definitely take advantage of that for sure. Um, and so there are those occasions where I will, and also there's the convenience. Like if I need something right now, or if I just want something right now, they can go pick it up the same day and not have to pay shipping. But again, you're still probably cheaper if you buy it online. Jordan is chiming in here and says he'll always support his friendly local game store because there's only two there in Hawaii, but he can't get it, so he doesn't have any issues with online. But if he can't get it in the store, he doesn't
oh,
have issues with it online.
gotcha.
He also mentions that the local store tries to get in on the big Kickstarters and sell them at the Kickstarter cost. So they save on shipping from the Kickstarter games because sometimes shipping to Hawaii can be $40 to $80. So that's definitely a benefit too.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
that's a good point. Yeah, like I want stores to succeed, and I do my part whenever I can. But I would say more times, more the percentage wise, I will more often order a game online. You do have to be careful though where you order it from, because recently there's been like an uptick in the number of counterfeit games that show up on Amazon.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, like if you go like to Miniature Market or Cool Stuff Inc., those are coming directly from the distributor. But the way Amazon works is they'll get games from a couple different distributors and put them in a pile, and then just start. When you order it, they drop one in there, so you don't know exactly which distributor, which location the games are coming from. And there's a thing where um, different organizations are putting out counterfeit copies of games and selling them for really cheap. Like a factory actually made a counterfeit copies of Pandemic Legacy Season 1. Like they went to all the trouble of duplicating everything and were able to sell it on Amazon. So
Wow.
that is a thing you have to consider is with Amazon you may not always know what you're getting. So that
Yeah.
could go into your factor as well. But I will
Definitely.
say the last game, yeah, the last couple games that I have received have been from online. So again, I think it's awesome if you can support the local business because that keeps our hobby alive. It keeps people coming into it. Um, but sometimes I just can't.
Right, and I think I want to say too for anybody out there who feels conflicted about it, I don't think it's something that you like have to do. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't have the money to do that and
Yeah.
you're still trying to just support the hobby, I mean, I think as long as you're buying the game, it doesn't really matter where you're buying the game from. But it's cool if you are able to do that and support the brick and mortar stores. But
Hmm.
I mean, we're in tough times, so I think everybody will understand. You know, as long as you're just supporting in some way.
Yeah.
I think that's all that really matters.
Hmm.
So I just do my part when I can, when I'm around an area where I have one I know I can go to.
Now, I will say there have been times where I go to a store like Madness, for example. There have been a couple occasions where I've gone and to use their open gaming space.
Yeah.
In those occasions, when I use something other than, you know, looking at games, I will make sure that I buy something to show that I'm not just freeloading and using this space for free without supporting your store. I mean, there's times we went to Madness to play. You know, I've been there a couple occasions, and I got an expansion or whatnot because I didn't want to just take advantage of the store. So I will buy on those occasions. And stores, if you have a store that has that kind of option, or where they have demo copies, maybe you play a demo of a game. Don't just walk out the door and say thanks. Maybe there's something. Maybe you can buy a pack of dice or something to support them.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, you know, just going to those places and taking your friends and
Hmm.
showing them is a good way of doing it. I know
Yeah,
that's
Madness has made a lot of money off of you because I showed you
I was
Madness.
gonna say, yeah. I mean, that's the reason I know about that game store because you took me there, and
Hmm.
I've loved it ever since. So,
Yeah, I need next time you're down, remind me. I need to take you to Common Ground Games. They've got a really great selection as well.
okay, all right. Well, that'd be something we have to check out for sure. Um, all right. So that is our opinion on it. I mean, support it if you can, but we totally understand. You know, if it's not possible, and I think either way works.
Yep.
Um, so the main thing that we're here tonight to talk about, and I'm very excited for this, are most anticipated top 10 games of 2021.
Woo!
So I figured since I started with the most recent gaming experiences,
I get to
it's
start?
it's only fair that you
Okay.
start the top 10.
All right. Number 10. This game is called. I have to read it from my phone because if I read it on the computer, it'll mess up the stream. By the way, if you're listening at home, we do live stream our show. So, yeah, that's how Jordan's able to partake. So, if you're listening, next time, join us for a live stream so that you can be part of the conversation as well. Okay, number 10 is a game called Mortem Medieval Detective. So, this game is a game of deduction and adventure in Europe, medieval Europe, the year 1347. Or not exactly that year, but medieval Europe. That's the general idea. And so players, it's a cooperative game. Players will, they're members of this secret organization, and they're agents trying to investigate mysteries and thrilling events. Um, so this game has a lot of freedom to explore the world, this world of Mortem, whatever it is. And your approach to this game can be unique too, or like you can approach it however you want to. Like you can gather information from suspects by either just talking to them or by forcefully getting it from them. You can approach the story with a kick in the door approach, like you're going in, or you're going to be more stealthy. So there's a lot of options there on how to approach the story. I don't know much else about it, but it sounded really cool. So that's my number 10, Mortem Medieval Detective.
You are correct, sir. It does sound really cool. I I don't know, something about this makes me want to be like, you know, one of those announcers for like a movie trailer, like number 10, number 9, you know what I mean?
I
But
don't know what
anyway,
movie you're watching.
number 10. Apparently not the one that everybody else is watching, but
No.
it's fine. Okay, so number 10 for me is Scooby-Doo the board game. And
Mm-hmm.
here, just hear me out here.
Oh,
I
I'm hearing you.
so we played Back to the Future, and I really really enjoyed it like a lot. And Scooby Doo's always been one of my favorite TV shows since I was a young lad, and
Mm-hmm.
so I thought it'd be neat to try the board game out. Basically, you get to be the whole gang, and they each have a special power that you have to use to work together in order to stop the bad guy, the one that always says you meddling kids at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
show, before he scares all the citizens out of the town. And it's a simple premise, but I mean, it sounds like a lot of fun to me. So
Yeah.
that's why I got Scooby Doo the board game as number 10 on my list.
Yeah, I looked at it because it was on Kickstarter recently, and it looks like a lot of fun. So if you get it, it's got those awesome like painted miniatures, so it looks good too. So I'll let you get that one, and then we can play it.
Okay, it sounds like a plan.
But yeah, I'm excited for it.
All right.
Okay, my number nine is Townsfolk Tussle. This is like the aesthetic of it is like old vintage cartoons, kind of like old Mickey Mouse. Um, so it's like kind of a black and white sepia tone kind of thing, but there is some color thrown in there, like the color of blood, because this is another cooperative game, and you're in this vintage cartoon universe, and players will are trying to defend this town and from these ruffians that are coming to take advantage because the town is defenseless because the sheriff just died. So
Oh wow.
um, they're coming in trying to take over the town, and you have to stop them. Um, and the look of the game and the premise and this approach to the game, as it's a old vintage cartoon style game, it just looks appealing to me. So I'm excited to see if the gameplay matches the look of the game.
Okay, that sounds really interesting. Um, okay, so number 9 for me is a game called Twisted Fables. It
Okay.
is a fast-paced fairy tale fighting game. As soon as I read that, I was like, I'm in. Tell me more about it.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it's a deck builder where you're taking some of your favorite uh, fairy tales from all of our childhoods and putting them against each other in a fight to build the strongest deck and win. And sometimes I need a very complicated premise. Sometimes I need the premise to be 18 pages long, but sometimes I need it to be just as simple as what I just said, and that'll be enough. So Twisted Fable sounded like a lot of fun when I read it, so I'm excited to hopefully try it this year.
That does sound cool. Um, I'm always up for a fairy tale, like a take on fairy tale game. So
Definitely.
that looks cool. Okay, number eight. Number eight for me is a game called Legends of Sleepy Hollow. Now, this game was on Kickstarter a couple years ago. It's been a while, and I think it got delayed due to lots of factors. But it's finally coming out this year. Um, and so you're playing characters from the book. I don't know if they're actually in the book, but you're in that time period, Revolutionary War, um, post-Revolutionary War, and this is the third cooperative game on this list. But basically, it's another kind of thing where you've got adventures, you got different scenarios you're going through. It's got a real neat sounding action pool mechanism where like you can do things, but once you've done it, the game you can't do it again until you've done all of the other actions or refresh all the other actions. Um, and then as you play the game, you're going to gain fear, and that makes the game more difficult when you play. So you're building in tension and the fear that you're gaining from whatever it is that's plaguing Sleepy Hollow. But yeah, it's a unique theme too. I don't know of any other board games that are based on Sleepy Hollow, so it
Yeah,
looks really cool.
yeah, it sounds really interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna break the rules a little bit here for for
Not allowed.
my for my for my 8 and 7. I basically am going to combine together
Oh,
um,
okay.
because they both are terraforming Mars, but in
Hmm.
two different ways.
Okay.
Um, And in the original Terraforming Mars, you are basically you send your group of astronauts up there to try to cultivate it to where it is a livable place, and you are trying to do it the quickest to win. But this year they are coming out with Terraforming Mars, the dice game, which I can't wait to see how they
Yeah.
implement that into a dice game. And then they're also coming out with Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, which will be a card game version of it. So
Interesting.
it's always interesting to me. In most successful board games do this where they have the original version, and then if it does well enough, they'll spin it off into a dice game,
Yeah.
um, at least if nothing else. But it's interesting to
Or a
me
card game.
that they're doing both with this
Hmm.
one. So I would be interested to try both of them out this year.
Yeah, it's popular enough that they would be silly not to try to take advantage of that.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm definitely interested in it too. Um, like to see what new life it breathes into the Terraforming Mars title. So yeah, that sounds. So I get to do my 7 and then 6
Yes. Yes.
because you did okay. So number 7 is a game called Archaeos. Here we go with another cooperative campaign game. Um,
I'm sensing a theme here.
yeah, it was completely unintentional. Like I finished the list and someone commented because this is I also did this as a video. So if you want to go watch me do it with some funny commentary, go watch the video on Lighten Up Initiative YouTube channel. But um, yeah, someone in a comment posted, "Wow, you got a lot of cooperative games." And I was like, "Yeah, I do." Um, but this is a story-driven campaign game, and you play as a team of archaeologists and adventurers trying to discover these history secrets. It's an Egyptian theme, and you have you're exploring a modular board, kind of like a game like Mansions of Madness or something like that, and it's got amazing production, like 3D tiles and whatnot, miniatures. And you're gonna fight monsters. You're gonna explore, discover secrets, uncover new locations, and you'll get to gain upgrades between adventures. So like when one's over, you get like a new item or a new a new thing. You become better at something, but you also will get like traumas that carry over from game to game. So there's like you can get some cool stuff, but you also might get some bad stuff that lingers. So some neat things to explore in Archaeus.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
And then number 6. All right, so this is probably the most unique game on this list. Um, so you've been eaten is the name of the game,
Okay.
and it's a two-player game.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a one-player game, solo game,
Okay.
and it's also a zero-player game.
Oh, wait a minute. What?
Yeah, the box or the game says it can play 0 to 2 players.
Well, well, that's
I
yeah. You're
don't
right.
I don't know how it happens.
Yeah.
Basically, the story is there's a space miner, like miner, ER, not OR,
Hmm.
and that's been eaten by this giant space beast. So this miner is trying to inside this space beast are these crystals, and the miner is trying to mine these crystals, a certain number, before the monster, or yeah, the space beast digests the miner. So their goal is to digest the miner, and somehow through cards or whatever, you can make it to where both sides fight against each other. I don't know how that works, but I'm super curious to see how that happens.
Yeah.
So like, be fun to live stream a no player game.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about an interesting game. I
Yeah,
cannot wait to see what a zero player game would
yeah.
run like.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So number 6 for me is Dice Theme Park.
Hmm.
Which this one caught my eye because it's a dice manipulation game that kind of had an interesting spin to it, at least for me. They're introducing a mechanic, at least again to me, it's probably out there, but for me, I'm still kind of new, called the Dice Cascade, where basically you roll the dice, and that is your customers as you're putting them through the park, and basically just trying to give them a good experience of a day at the theme park. But as you put the customer to a new ride, you'll take, like, for example, if it's a 6 and you take them to that ride, then they go down to a 5, and so on until they go to 0. Then once they go to 0, they leave the park. They've had their fun for the day. They're done for the day.
Hmm.
So I thought that was a very interesting uh, idea, because it's basically going to really force you to use those dice very strategically
Yeah.
throughout the park.
Hmm.
And so I think that'll be a very interesting game to see how it works with the card based turn initiative that is also being blended with it in the game.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to try Dice Theme Park this year. So it's number 6 for me.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. I love the design team, Adrian and Daryl. They work a lot on games together, and they worked on this one too. And definitely excited to see. I love anything theme park related, so I bet it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5, right?
Yes.
Okay. My number 5 is a game called The Shivers. Now, this is a pop-up board game. So imagine, a pop-up book. You open it up and everything pops up. But imagine a board game like that. So kind of take the idea of this modular board, like with tiles that are different rooms, but each room pops up and it's a 3D room that you play in. And inside these rooms, which are like handcrafted, inside these rooms are like puzzles, like escape room style puzzles, and mysteries to solve, and things to, secrets to uncover, a little bit of role playing too. It looks amazing, looks fantastic. Hey, look, speaking of Daryl, there's Daryl. Hey, Daryl.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Daryl, we were just talking about Dice Theme Park. So thanks for joining. Say hi, Seigen.
Hey, what's up, Daryl? We spoke into existence.
Yes. Thanks for joining. But yeah, so the Shivers looks amazing. I invite anybody to go look at it just to get the look and idea of what it looks like. And so this is coming out this year, which, I mean, all of these games are technically, so.
That's fair.
Okay. So yeah, that's the Shivers.
All right. And so number five for me is Dinosaur World, which is like basically a spin-off of Dinosaur Island, which I really enjoyed. Basically, you are just trying to make sure that the people who are on this island survive and don't get eaten by the dinosaurs.
That's pretty good.
And it's a really neat way that you go about doing that. So I'm just excited to see what Dinosaur World takes and changes, if it does, or if it's just its own standalone where you're in a different environment. And it'll be interesting to see what they do with that this year. So number 5 for me is Dinosaur World.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to check that one out too. I love Dinosaur Island.
Yeah.
Now would be a good time. We've just done our top 5 through. Actually, no, halfway through would be after 6. Anyway,
yes. Well, that's fine.
Daryl is requesting that we refresh on the games we've already talked about. So let's just refresh everybody that's listening, and also anybody watching at home if you're just joining in. What games have we already talked about? So I'll go down my list.
Okay.
So
okay.
I've brought up, Mortem, Medieval Detective, Townsfolk, Tussle, Legends of Sleepy Hollow, Archaeos, and So You've Been Eaten. What about you?
Okay, so for me, I have talked about Scooby-Doo the board game, Twisted Fables, Terraforming Mars, the dice game, and the Ares Expedition, Dice Theme Park, and we just talked about Dinosaur World. So yeah.
All right, so everybody's caught up and memories are refreshed. Okay, number 4.
Ooh, this one is good.
This is, well, I won't say that. Number 4 is a sequel to a very popular, fun, cooperative game.
Here we go again.
Burgle Brothers 2.
It's on my list as well.
Oh, okay. Well, then I will wait till you talk about it to talk about it.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right.
Okay, so number 4 for me is actually Ultimate Werewolf Extreme. Um,
Oh,
there have been a lot of versions of Ultimate Werewolf that have come out, but this one's going to be interesting because it's basically a redesign of the app that'll assist you even more with the gameplay, so it'll make it even easier of an interface to join in.
mhm.
So I think it's going to be really interesting just to see, and it's 3 to 25 players, so you can do a real
Oh,
small group or a
yeah,
huge group. So that's always awesome, and it'll just be very interesting to see what they do to make the game different this time around. I'm
yeah,
excited to try it out.
yeah. Now, is this? It's not one night, so it's still like you're playing through the full thing, but the
Mhm.
app helps you. That sounds good.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So that is
All
number four
right,
for me.
number three. Seigen, do you like Root?
Oh, I love it.
There are many reasons to like Root, but one is the design of the game, and two is the look of the game.
Oh yeah.
So any other game that has the same similar design team, as well as the same artist, has my attention, and so that's why number three I'm excited about Oath from Leader Games. Now I'm going to surprise you here. This is not a cooperative game,
That is a
um,
surprise.
but it is a campaign
Oh, okay, okay.
legacy-ish game. Um, so what happens is you're basically characters in an ancient land, and you're going to be doing things like conquering and whatnot. And but what's going to happen is, like with most legacy games and campaign games, um, consequences of one game will ripple through the games that follow. So it says it will change what resources and actions future players have at their disposal, and even will alter the game's core victory condition. So that sounded interesting to me. That to win, you might not even know how you're supposed to win when you start the game. Um, so what's cool about this game too is, with it being sort of like a legacy game, you can reset it. So the changes aren't permanent. They'll affect everything moving forward. But like, say you get halfway through and you're like, we're messed up. Let's start over. You in first place. You shouldn't be in first place. So we're gonna start over. So you can reset it anytime. Um, but it looks great, and they have a good track record. So I'm looking forward to Oath.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Number three for me is Steampunk Rally Fusion.
Mm.
So, Steampunk Rally came out a few years ago, and basically, you are some of the most famous inventors that have been through our history, and you are creating a race machine to steer you to the finish line. And the neat thing about it is you're racing against other people, of course, and they can impede you along the way, which makes it a lot more, which makes it really interesting. And so I will be interested to see, and they're saying that Steampunk Rally Fusion is a standalone game, but
Oh,
you
okay,
can combine the two together if you would like. So
that's
it'll
cool.
be interesting to see what is new,
Hmm.
in this new version of the game, and if what new mechanics are in there, if there are any in there. So I'm very excited to try out Steampunk Rally Fusion this year because Steampunk Rally was one of my favorites.
Yeah, I remember only playing that once, but I really enjoyed it. I know that was love rolling dice.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and racing. Okay, number two. Um, I mentioned earlier in the show a game, Qubitos, by John D. Clare. Well, this next one is also by Mr. D. Clare, however he chooses to be called, and that is Dead Reckoning. So this is a pirate game that uses the same system of Mystic Vale. It's this card crafting system where you start with some basic cards and then you add into them, because it's sleeved, these advancements to make the cards better. So you may have crew member cards that you can improve their skills by getting these advancements and sliding them into these inserts or into these sleeves. So there's some exploration going on. There's combat. Which combat? Do you know what a cube tower is? Are you aware of what a cube tower is?
I don't think so.
Okay, so a cube tower. This is relatively new to me too. It's like you put cubes in it, Sounds like a dice tower, but like
Yeah.
instead of dice coming out, the cubes like will do something. There'll be some result, like if this many colors come out or whatever. And so this game will use a cube tower, but it's built as a pirate ship.
Mm.
So it's got this big pirate ship on the board, and you toss cubes on it, and that will determine how combat plays out. So there's some cool stuff going on, and it is not cooperative, so that's good too. But pirate games are fun, and I love the whole Mystic Veil system, and putting it into this larger game sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait to try that out. All right. So number two for me is Unmatched, Jurassic Park, Sadler versus T Rex.
Okay.
I am very Unmatched. If you've listened to this podcast before, it's definitely one of my favorite games. It's slowly climbing up my list. Actually, not slowly, very quickly
Yeah.
climbing up my list as to one of my favorite games of all time. I love how in depth it is on the characters. I love putting these characters against each other, like Sherlock Holmes and Bigfoot fighting. Like, what? That's amazing.
Hmm.
And in this version, it's the Jurassic Park edition. So just imagine the being the dinosaur going against the scientist and trying to survive, or if you're the dinosaur trying to eat.
Hmm.
And I think that sounds like a lot of fun. I love Jurassic Park, the movie. And I can't wait to see what they take in those decks of cards to make it so special and unique because each deck is so special and unique. And I just can't wait. I'm very excited for that
Yeah.
one.
Can't get enough unmatched, that's for sure. Oh, everybody, Kevy B is in the audience. He's requesting that we start over.
Oh,
So, you go with that?
oh, sure. Yeah.
All right, we've been live for 57 minutes, so you good for another 57?
Yeah,
Okay.
always.
Oh, Kevy is a heckler. He likes to heckle me in the comments of my videos, so we can ignore him.
Oh, okay. All
Okay.
right.
All right, we're on to number one.
Yes, number one.
Okay, my number one most anticipated game. I've already played it. I already have it.
Oh, okay.
When I made the list, I didn't.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't want to undo my list because it was a good list. So,
All right.
my number one most anticipated game of 2021 was Sleeping Gods, the new one from
Ah.
Red Raven Games. Man, so I finished the campaign. So, sorry, I'm laughing at a comment.
No, no, you're good.
So this campaign, this is another cooperative campaign game,
Of course.
but I played it by myself. You can play it solo, and I played through this. I spent about 8 to 10 hours on it. Now it's not like a thing that has chapters. Like it's not like you play scenario 1, scenario 2, or 3. Like Pandemic Legacy, you play April, June, July, whatever. This isn't built that way. It's just this giant open world, and you just play however long you want to, and then stop. There's no real clear wrap up point. Now there are, I will say, it's kind of divided into three portions a little bit based on the story, the way the story unfolds. But it's not like they say play till this point and then stop and play till this point. So you put in as much time as you want. Some people might not like that. Some people may be like, I'd rather have more structure. But this is like a sandbox type game. And it's huge. All these pages in this atlas that you can go to, this wandering sea that you're in. You're on this steamship sailing around in 1929. There's just so much to explore in this game, man. You can't experience it all in one campaign playthrough. You can't experience it all in 2 campaign playthroughs. I would venture to guess that maybe you could see everything it has to offer if you play through the game 8 or 9 times, but probably not even then. So, like, if you're not the kind of person that wants to play through a campaign multiple times, then I don't recommend getting this to anybody listening because there's just so much content to experience, but only if you're willing to put in the time. I think it's worth it. I just recorded a full review, and so I'm not going to give this line, but you can see my full thoughts in the review. But
Okay.
suffice it to say that this is an amazing game, and I hope everybody can enjoy it. as soon as possible.
Okay, so I think this is only fair to ask, and I will give my number. Well, you know what my number one is. It's Burgle Bros 2 because
Uh,
Spencer did talk about it. It was his number four. I will get
yeah.
into that in a second, but I
Okay.
have to ask. So, did it since it was your number one most anticipated game? Do you think it lived up to your expectations? You like that word? I just came up with.
No, I don't.
Okay, it's fine. We'll try again one day.
Um, how else do I put it other than saying that it is my number one game of all time?
What? Ooh, that's a
Yes.
high bar.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I've had the same number one game since 2016, which was Islebound.
Yeah, I know
And
you love Out. Oh my
hmm
gosh, you must really love this game then, because I
hmm
know how you feel about Outbound.
yeah. So yeah, I have lots of good things to say in my review. So by the time this goes live, my review will be up on the channel. But yeah, it's so good.
Awesome. Okay.
It's so good.
Well, guys, if you want to know more about Sleeping Gods, check out the review. It's going to be out soon.
Now, I will say, I kind of talked about, people wanting to put the time in. So that's unusual for me. Like a one and done game, not one and done, but, play through a game, it's over. Okay. Those are typically my style. I don't typically, I'm up for the occasional campaign game. So it's strange that I like this game so much. And I'm not going to say that everybody's going to like it that much because there may be it's going to take a long time for there to be some really good payoff for the time that you're putting into it. But I think that the journey, the process along the way, all of the encounters that you have is very enjoyable. The way the writing is done. Okay, I just got to stop talking because I'm just going to do my review. But yeah. Anyway, Burgle Brothers 2.
Okay, all right. Now I've got to try out that game. After that, I
Yeah.
got to try it out. But yes, okay. So I really, really enjoyed Burgle Brothers 2.
You
And
mean Burgle Brothers 1?
I mean, Burger Brothers 1, and I'm hoping that I will really enjoy Burger Brothers 2, which is hopefully arriving to me soon. I am the first one. You're, excuse me. You're basically just a bunch of heathen criminals that are trying to steal and escape a building while police officers are trying to stop you. And I will say, as you add more players to that game, it gets really hard really fast. But it is so fun. I mean, I've never not played that game and enjoyed it. And so when I saw that they were coming out with the second one that's going to be even bigger, um, I got really excited. What can I say? I can't wait to try it. And Spencer had the running theme of campaign and cooperative games, and for me, I chose to go off of for at least some of the games that I had played in the past that I really enjoyed. So
Mm-hmm.
this is an expansion on a game that I love, Burgle Bros. So I'm excited for Burgle Bros 2.
Yeah, I have nothing else to say. You said it all. So, I do want to mention, since he's in the audience, another game that I know a lot of people are looking forward to because of how popular the game is Sagrada Legacy.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Sagrada's awesome. So
yeah.
yeah, that would be
What
neat.
what's interesting to me is how the designers are going to turn it into a legacy game. I haven't played with all of because there are so many expansions, but the way that those may be incorporated, or if there's any kind of a story, I'm very curious of how uh, the folks at Floodgate and Daryl and the team have turned this into a legacy game, and I think that's one of the fascinating things about these legacy games is whenever the designers and the teams can come up with a legacy element. Daryl says my check's in the mail. Um, these games that you might not be your first idea when someone says, "What do you think is a game that should be a legacy game?" Because with Sagrada, you're rolling dice and you're making a stained glass, but how's that going to play out in a story, in a campaign game, in a legacy game? So, I'm really curious. Kevi has said, "Yes, Sagrada Legacy. Will it be pandemic or just my city?"
Huh.
I don't know what you mean by that, sir.
Well, it'll definitely be interesting to try. I can definitely say I've enjoyed both of the Legacy experiences I've had so far. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Pandemic Legacy was awesome, and Betrayal Legacy that I'm going through now is great.
Mm-hmm.
There are others like Clank that I was like, man, they turned Clank into a Legacy
Mm-hmm.
game, but I've heard
Well,
it's amazing. So
and like
yeah, like
Machikoro Legacy was fun. So I haven't played a Legacy game that I haven't enjoyed. So.
yeah, so it'd be interesting to try it. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sagrada is just, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
The stained glass is awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, any game where you're rolling dice to me is a good one. So
Well, just the puzzle of fitting everything in the right ways.
definitely, yeah. And I'm not good at it, but I still like it.
Oh, okay. I see what Kevy was saying. What were you saying basically? What you were saying basically? Pandemic was a story. My city was stickers. That's.
uh,
I see. Yeah. So I
gotcha.
guess we'll find out. Daryl
Yeah,
knows, but
time will tell.
we'll find
Yes.
out in Gen Con, around Gen Con, so August of this year.
All right. Well,
That's
we
when
got
it
some time
releases.
to build up some anticipation for it then.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. I guess that's about it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we have said all we can say in this podcast episode. Thank you all for being on this journey with us. I've had a great time. It's so good to see you and talk to you again.
Yeah. Even though we technically did it not that long ago.
And we
When
technically can't see you, but again, it's not. We're not worried about the small things. We're just happy to
no.
be together. Yay!
Thanks. Thanks so much to those in the chat for joining. It definitely makes
Yeah.
our show more engaging and exciting whenever we have stuff to play off of from the chat. So hope you'll join us next time. I mean, in theory, it should be 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
So not next Wednesday, but the next. But who knows?
we,
Who knows?
you know, if COVID strikes again, or if we have technical difficulties again, we'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
But we just take it one episode at a time. At the beginning we didn't know if we were going to get to 2, but here we are at 10.
10.
So thank you to everybody who's listening to this 10th episode. We hope to have you back for number 11. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
This is a big deal.
Oh yeah. Once we hit the double digits, now we're cooking with high grease,
That's right.
man. That's awesome.
We can't quit now.
Oh yeah, we're locked in. The contract's there.
Yeah, and we have patrons
Yes,
paying for us, so we definitely can't quit.
yeah, and Daryl's sending checks, so I
That's
mean,
right.
we got to stick around now. I mean, so we're gonna try to get this right every time we have issues with this. But here we go. This is gonna be it because it's number
Okay.
10. We're gonna make it special.
Now remember, you just say it. We don't
Okay.
need to do any kind of special
No, nothing.
beat or rhythm or anything.
Nothing. I'm just going in. Okay,
All
I'm
right.
just going in then. All right. So, it as we wrap up, it's always important to keep one thing in mind that
Board games are fun.
That was kind of sort of
Probably the best we've ever
yeah.
done.
You know what? Yeah, I'll take it. I'll
You
take
still
it.
have that pause in between board games and fun. We'll work on it. We'll work on it. We need to practice it when we're not recording, so that way we don't
Yeah.
keep annoying people.
Okay, so how about by the time we get to 20, we need to have this nailed down.
Okay, all right. That's a good goal to have.
That's a firm goal to have.
Okay.
So, all right.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Goodbye.
Should we end it a different way?
We can.
Until next time. I don't know. Anybody
Um,
in the audience have anything fun to say?
I forgot because I normally do something, but I forgot what it was. Because I always say like always and forever
Yeah.
remember, but I couldn't remember how to do it.
I don't know. We could just leave it at where it was.
Or we could do
Thanks
like
for-
a Looney Tunes deal.
Yeah. Thanks for commenting and stopping by, Daryl. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing all right.
Say
Yeah, it's fine. We don't. We can. We're good.
okay.
I'm good as long as you're good with it.
I am if you are.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna stop recording.
Okay.
All right. And we're still streaming. All right. Again, thanks to everybody for
Thank you.
being part of the chat. Even you, Kevy. All right. We will see you next time. And tomorrow, my what's that thing called?
The review?
Yeah, my review's going live tomorrow.
Yes.
So watch out for that.